Okay, everybody. We are in writing expressions, okay? So once again, an expression is a math problem that doesn't have an equal sign. That we're solving to get a number, but there's just no equal signs with it. So what we're doing is we're translating. In my last video, we talked about adding and subtracting and translating that from a phrase and translating that into an expression or something like x plus 4 or something like that. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing multiplication and division. So we're going to be going over the words that go with that. And then we will also be kind of doing a few examples of that, and hopefully by the end you can kind of be able to see that. And in my last video, if you haven't watched it yet, please do. But I told you that you should probably get some note cards or some flashcards, that maybe something like this, to be able to put, division words and practice them. These few lessons have a big impact on you being able to solve word problems and being able to take those and have those be easier for you to solve. Okay, so like I said, this is a language and you have to be able to pick out those words that will help you the most, okay, and knowing what they mean. So let's go over a few of the words for multiplication and division. So if you see these words, this is what they're trying to say. So times, we've seen times like times this or times that, that's multiplication. Product, multiplied by, and I put doubled and tripled and that type of stuff because if you double something you can times it by 2, tripling it would be timesing by 3. Sometimes they'll use shortcuts like that, but that was just one of those offhand ones that I have seen before. I just want to put it on there. Alright, so division. We have words like quotient, divided by, divided into. I personally feel like division is a little easier because a lot of them will put in divided or something like that. You could say cut in half or divided in half or half of. That is also division. That's divided by 2, right? And then shared equally is another one. It's not up here. I just have another list in the back of my room that I'm reading off. And then equal parts and each and separated into. Those are some other ones that I have on a different list. But they all go into that division problem, or those division symbols. So these are the multiplication, these are your division. Alright, so now we've gone over the words, we've talked about some of those. Hopefully you're writing them down, putting them on those note cards and practicing them. Guys, I can't stress out enough about how practicing the words and being visually able to see them on the paper and be like, oh, I know what that word means. Very important for solving word problems, and it makes you a lot more confident, okay? So this is just pieces, so expressions, and we'll go through these here. Okay, so the product of 6 and a number y. So we need to figure out what product means. We just talked about it. Product, multiplication of 6 and a number y. Now, if you watched my last video with the addition and subtraction, when it says and a number, that is just saying y, okay? So, or your variable, okay? We don't know what the number is. And a number y. We don't know what the number is, so they're going to put in a variable of y. So the product was multiplication. Now you can do it 2 ways. You could do a dot with the y. You could do 6y, and you could do 6 parentheses y. All of those mean the same thing, okay? So that would be the product of 6 and a number y. So 6 multiplied by y. Okay, so 50 divided by a number h. Now I just told you that this section right here, this piece right here, a number and then having this after it just means you're putting h in there. So whatever number you come to first, so 50 divided by h. We could say 50 and then your symbol and then h. You could do that. You could also do this one. 50 over, which is divided by h. You could do something like that. Either one to me is just fine. Depending on what your teacher says, you might do a little different, but they should take both. All right, going into the last one here, the last example of these. Half of a number m. Don't know what m is. It's our variable. So there's an m and a number. So half of a number. So half of a number. We talked about doubled and tripling, but half of a number m. This one is actually interesting because if you were talking about half, you would probably divide it by 2. Okay? Now, some of you, I'm going to try not to confuse us here, but some of you might be like, well, if you multiply by 0.5, you're going to cut your number in half. Now, it did not have this here, so I would say we're going to divide. So m divided by 2. That would be what I would go with. Okay, I would go with that one. Once again, it would be, that one is one of those that I found and I wanted to be like, well, there's some that are kind of a little tricky, but if you kind of go back to the words, I didn't see any of these in there to be, to do that. So I was going to go with division. Okay? All right, well, thanks for watching this. Hopefully, like I said, make those cards, practice, 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 and they will get you more confident in the word problems. All right, we'll see you in the next video.